What happened when you lost $5 million?
Yeah, which one? You look at the list. Tell me which one you want to do.
What happened when you lost $5 million?
All right, I didn't exactly lose $5 million, but I did not make the $5 million that I could have made. All right, so this is called Sean's Shitty Investments. This is a new segment we created just now, and I'll tell you about two bad investments and one good investment I made. So I was talking to a friend of mine, a guy who I had been advising this guy about his startup. This is maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I've been advising him. He didn't live in America. He was building a product for international. His product was around international students applying to U.S. universities and making it easy. If you don't know, if you live overseas, like I finished high school in China, so I saw this firsthand. If you're in China, you're in India, you're in Malaysia, the goal, like your life goal, is to go to a U.S. university. It doesn't even matter if it's a good one, but it's to go to a U.S. university. And U.S. universities overcharge for that. And
And they get in
so
trouble for that too sometimes.
yeah, actually, right now there's a bunch of stuff in the news because they charge like 3 times more for
San
international
Francisco
students.
State is in trouble because they have like 60% Chinese nationals there, and they're like,
Right.
"What the fuck? You guys are charging 60 grand for these kids."
Exactly. So anyways, I was helping this guy, great founder, really liked the company, was really interested, but I was at a point at that time financially where I was like, okay, if I'm investing in startups, it's a pretty irresponsible investment because, when you invest in startups, high likelihood of failure. So you need to place like 25, 30 bets. And so if you say, okay, I'm going to place, 25, 30 bets and each bet's going to be 25 grand, like I need to have 500,000, I need to have $750,000 that I'm going to put into this, which means that can't be like your whole net worth, which is like that would have been 750 grand at that time would have been more than my whole net worth. And so I knew I didn't have the sort of bankroll to do it. But that was an excuse. I could have found a way. I could have wrote the check anyways. I could have banked on myself making more in the future like I did. And bottom line is I didn't. So I would have been the first check into this guy's company, and my sort of $25,000 check, which I was very, very close to writing, would have become a $5 million stake in this guy's business by now.
Wait,
And
what's the name of the company?
I don't know if I should say the name,
And
but
how big is it now?
I'll just tell you the name. We'll bleep it out. So it's called and so he told me that they just crossed, the $1 billion valuation, and so I don't know if they're exactly at that. I don't know if they're a little over, a little under, but the point is they're doing well, and so yeah, I was kicking myself because that would have been a big investment.
Do they
This
make
has happened
revenue?
to me. This has happened to me now 2 different times where I could have been one of the angel checks into a business. I thought it was a good business. I didn't pull the trigger. And those two would have combined to be worth, $10 million plus by now.
What was the other one? Calm.
Yeah.
So this company, this studying abroad company, do they make a lot of revenue, or is it just
Revenue? And even then, they were pre-revenue at the time, but I was doing the math and I was like, wait, like they had an LOI signed by a bunch of universities, and I was like, wait, so if they just match the supply and demand, like this thing's gonna make money. But didn't have enough conviction.
And is it just a lead gen site?
No. It's a full software tool that actually does the application for the student. Blah blah blah.
So the university pays money. Oh, so it's a SaaS company.
It's a free SaaS tool for the user, and then it's a lead gen on the other side where when a kid gets accepted, they get paid that way.
Got it. And do they charge the universities money?
Yeah, like thousands of dollars per student.
Got it. So okay, so they don't charge them money for the software.
No, the software is used by the actual student, the end customer. So anyways, it's a great business. Big miss on my part. Happy for the guy though. He's an awesome guy, and I really I like this guy's energy a lot. Sometimes you meet people who just have good energy. I don't know how to describe it, but he was one of those people. So
and you lost money again on MGM?
So no, not again. So basically, I haven't talked about this on the podcast, but during COVID, I decided to mess around with option trading, which, famous last words. And so I was literally, this is how dumb I am, right? So I don't play in the public markets that much. I just do very simple things. I just buy companies I think are good for the next 10 years, or I buy index funds. I don't do like day trading. I don't do, leverage buying I don't do shorts. But I was like, you know what? I don't see any way that MGM, which is MGM Resorts, I was like, I don't see any way that their business doesn't go down with this COVID thing. And so I was thinking about it, and it got cut by like 75%. So the stock price dropped from, I don't know, it was like 25, it dropped from 30 down to like 12. And I was like, yeah, I still think that this thing's going to go down. And so I'm literally on one tab, I have like a Khan Academy video of like,
Oh my
what the hell is a
God.
put? And on the other hand, I've got my Robinhood account, and I'm like just pushing buttons. And so I pushed a bunch of buttons, and I placed this trade, which basically said, okay, I think MGM's going to go down. And I bought $2,000 worth of options, and like, let's see what happens. And it turns out MGM did go down, but I needed it to, once I understood my own trade, which was like after I placed it, because I was, again, just pushing buttons. When I was looking at the like confirmation, I was like, oh shit, this is a horrible trade. Like I just basically said that this is going to go down 40% in the next 7 days. I was like, what a
So how much
stupid
did you lose?
$2,000. So I was like, what a stupid bet. So that's the two bad investments that I want to share. On the other side, I bet really big into Bitcoin when it dropped to like 4,500 recently, and now it's back up. So that one made back the money for my shitty option trade in spades.
I completely stay away from stocks. I only buy S&P 500 or Facebook stock. And about 2 weeks ago, when it was at the bottom, I was like,
Facebook.
well, no, when the whole market was real low, like the lowest point, maybe 10 or 2 weeks ago, I sold most everything. And I was like, I think it's just going to get worse and worse and worse because unemployment comes out and it's the highest it's ever been, or the unemployment work claims. And then the stock market goes up 20%.
Yeah.
I just don't understand how this, I don't understand how this works at all. Because, and then I applied for the loan for that Trump enacted. And I'm like, so you're telling me we get free money? That sounds great. But when you start thinking about it, you're like, I'm going to pay for this eventually. Like somehow there's no such thing as free, or we're going to pay for it eventually. And so this money, this whole situation, it doesn't make sense to me because the stock market should be going down.
Yeah, and it will. It will. This is a sort of a dead cat bounce, or like sort of a false rally. But forgetting the market right now, because I don't know shit about it, and who cares? Not that interesting. It's a speculator's game. There's a phrase I learned that I thought was pretty cool. It's called a Keynesian beauty contest. Do you know what a Keynesian beauty contest is? Okay, so have you ever heard of the sort of economist? I forgot his full names, like John Maynard Keynes or whatever. Anyways, he's a famous guy in the world of economics, Keynesian economics. And a Keynesian beauty contest describes this phenomenon where, let's say what you think the stock market should be is, here's an asset, here's a company, you could buy some of their stock, and you buy it if you think that the company's going to become more valuable than it's priced at today. That's what we think should be happening. But what's actually happening is this is a speculator market, right? It's a speculation-driven market. And so you don't, in a short time horizon, you're not betting that the company is going to improve and actually generate more revenue and whatnot. You're just betting that other people are going to think this is more attractive. But they're also betting that other people are going to think it's more attractive. So it's a Keynesian beauty contest is where you're not actually judging the beauty of it. You are thinking what the other judges would think about this thing, and they're thinking about what the other judges would think about this thing, and it becomes this sort of speculative loop. And that's my sort of Wikipedia page of the week.
That's exactly how things are working, and it just annoys me so much. You have so much more control over your life when you actually run the business.
Right. And there's also a great phrase, which is sort of in the short term, the stock market is a popularity contest, and in the long term, it's a weighing machine. And I think that really describes it well, right? So like this is also for private companies as well. And when you're raising a Series A and you're a hyped company, it's a popularity contest. And when people are like, how did this valuation? That doesn't make any sense. It's like, yeah, it makes sense if you understand that this is currently a popularity contest. But over the long haul, it does not remain a popularity contest. It becomes a weighing machine. And if you're full of air and there's nothing there, like your value will go down. And so for all those people who don't understand those valuations, that's why.
It's frustrating. I don't do anything in that world because it's just not, I don't know anything about it and I don't want to know. It makes me too angry.